Had to do a little stretch. Anyway, hello, everybody. We are back with host Endwalker. My model is not working right now, so let me see if I can try and get that fixed. Keyword, emphasis on the try. Usually this takes like a minute or two, who knows. And sometimes it doesn't even fix itself at all. I'm trying to remember exactly where I left off as I just ramble and ramble. Right. Delve into the myths. So we were doing Alliance Raid and Pandæmonium. Just grab those quests and then have this ready as well. That was not it. Alright. There it is. Let's see how many of these I have done. So this will be the fourth circle, in a sense. Like my model just takes forever to load and fix itself. Who knows what will happen to that? I'm just right now slowly piecing together like everything that I'm supposed to do. Here we are. Two. Oh. So, because we have the Alliance Raid finally unlocked, we're going to then go to Pandæmonium. That's where we left off. So I'm gonna go speak to Erikios. Over here. Somewhere. Yes. Yes. What am I doing? I have light. It's like completely just out of it. There we are. There's Themis. There it goes. After we complete the inner circle, we're then going to go straight to the Alliance route. The creation of the ward, which surrounds Pandæmonium, was an astonishing feat of magical prowess. A feat accomplished by none other than La Habrea. That both my father and I can bind others in chains is perhaps the only thing that we have in common. Ah, so it is true. I'm La Habrea's son. Bereft of his talents for magic or his brilliance mine, but his son nonetheless. Surely, this doesn't come entirely as a surprise to you. Nay, I had an inkling when you said you had practiced ethereal shackles since childhood, assuming you haven't been employed here quite that long. It had to be incident, some long-held connection with La Habrea. It was La Habrea that taught me how to cast ethereal shackles, but that was it. My further education was overseen by the words of La Habrea, more specifically my mother, who was a researcher here. Did you speak of Athena, chief word before La Habrea? She is your mother, yes? How's it too? I can see now why you were chosen to lead this investigation. You've the right of it. Athena was my mother. It was she who invited me to join her here. La Habrea had nothing to do with it. I see. There's little of loss between you two. What I cannot see is why La Habrea was appointed chief keyword when others was clearly in place. Was in place. My mother is no longer with us. And La Habrea was all too eager to assume her responsibilities, with nary a moment spare to mourn her. What love do I owe him now when he offered not one drop of compassion then? Ah, I see. She is no longer with us, an exception to convey the end of a life. I have known only the public face of La Habrea. While he is lauded for his ability to maintain composure in the face of unnerving circumstances, I must admit that oft he comes across as cold. Apologies. But can we speak of something else? This topic isn't an easy one for me to discuss. Yes, of course. There are more pressing matters at hand. After all, namely how to deal with Hesperus. Correct. Okay. So everything's slowly coming back to me. What happened in Pandæmonium is that we were sent to Pandæmonium because we got a message saying Pandæmonium is about to break. It's about to, like, release all of these horrible things into the world, and it might cause, or it will cause, the end of the world if Pandæmonium, in a sense, dies. So we go back and we then bump into Themis. Like, not just casually bump into them. No, our skulls just smashed against each other. Yeah, no, we... he then explains to us, like, that he was somehow expecting us because of Azem, and Azen, who has proficient knowledge with the Echo, can see both past and future. We can't fully control it yet, as for now we can only see the past, but we have had glimpses of the future with the Echo, and that was during Shadowbringers when we saw the, in a sense, the destruction of the world, like everything in a sense going to shit. That was like the one. That's like the closest thing that I can possibly say to it. Like that's like the first thing that came to my mind. Um, Other than that is, yeah, no, we were able to pass off once again as Zem's familiar, and here we are. Uh, while exploring Pandæmonium, we easily, not easily, I wouldn't say that's not the right words. With the struggle, we took down the first three layers. During the first three layers, against, I believe, yeah, it was against Firebird, we realized that Hesperos, the key warden of Pandæmonium's outer layers, kind of was letting this happen. Was kind of letting Pandæmonium fall, in a sense. And here we are. Now we have to deal with this. We have yet to see the other wardens. Judging by what we know, we can only surmise that Hephaestus has confined them somewhere beyond our grasp. And now that he is aware of our presence, we're preparing for our next encounter. We cannot expect to face him on equal footing. Quite the opposite, in fact. For every moment we spend chasing after the creations is another moment Hesperos can conduct another advantage for himself. The wisest course would be to find him first and foremost. He's not wrong. He said that he has come one with the creations. Perhaps that means he is vulnerable to interment. In theory, that should be possible. However, is it merely to confine him? After all, he has done? I need to know why. I need to know why. What drove him to forsake everything he's worked for? Was it all true so that he could serve his master? To my mind, he's merely put La Habrea's own work at risk in trade for some nebulous power. La Habrea is the chief keyword of Pandæmonium. How with throwing it into disarray with his favorite? It doesn't make any sense. There. Because if La Habrea is the chief keyword, Pandæmonium is his creation. So that means Hephaestus must have another master. I share your curiosity, but we must consider that our enemy has us at a disadvantage in every sense. What do you think? Should we seek to put him in fetters, or would it be too dangerous to allow him to quarters? I want answers to it. If we fail to confine him, I can always strike him down. Daring as ever, I see. I know not which trials you've faced in your past, but to see you so certain is all convincing I need. Very well. Let us try Erythrios' plan. I have to get a translator for that. Thank you, RT. I believe I can shed some light on the nature of our foe. When Hesperos spoke with us, I noticed he bore the telltale fangs of the Vircorvocus, a beast which feeds off the ether of its prey. Likely that its secretion Hesperos merged his essence with. And we know it all too well. He changed the environment around himself at will. The battle will not be an easy one, and I believe in our victory. Alright. The fourth floor. Alrighty. Let's see if I can get some people. Are they busy? They probably do. I just noticed that my model is yeah. I have movement. Also, while I wait for the answer, we also continued a little bit of MSQ, mainly because in order for me to unlock the alliance raid, we had to do a few things, and one of the few things was, well, we discovered that there was a naturally formed rip in the space that leads a naturally formed tear, and because of that, well, Y'shtola kind of got interested in it because she's been trying to find means to travel the ethereal sea to other fragments, to other sources, or well, not other sources, the other shards. That was a promise that she made to her, and that was a promise to herself, and that was a promise that she made to Ruiner. And I deadass felt very, very guilty. Not because of what I said to Y'shtola, because the response I said to Y'shtola was, or the response when we got caught and we kind of invaded that dungeon and literally destroyed everything, because that dungeon was not a normal dungeon. It was just a dungeon that the leader, the dragon leader, I forgot his name, basically designed, and all of the treasure that are there was actually his. It's like, oh fuck. So in that one moment, we sort of became dicks. Like, we sort of became dicks, and we had to explain like why we were there and everything. We also had to explain to like what was going on, like why like everything, and it was funny a little bit. There we go. So when Vashnu, I think. I'm now blanking on names, and I just, oh my. So, when Y'shtola heard about this and everything, and all of that, the response I've chosen was, so we were totally not gonna open the pot, but I'm not sure about Y'shtola. We just got the dead stare from her. Like, we just heard the creak, the slow turn and like hell, just hell on earth opening up. And the only response that she gave us was, "We'll speak about this later." They're like, "Oh, oh, okay." That I did not feel guilty about. The one guilty, I forgot what was the response that triggered it. Was I did my joking remark, and Yashtola didn't say anything. No, it was Graha that actually turned to me and said, "Not the time, my friend. Not the time." And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I felt guilty about that one. Yeah, that one actually made me feel guilty. Anyway, but yeah, that was basically was that. It was funny and a bit guilty. Anyway, so right now, just waiting for some people to help me with this raid, and yeah. So I'm not sure how long it'll be, but we'll see. We shall see. Alright, should be like a minute. But anyway. I finally have plenty of time to do Final Fantasy XIV and actually get caught up and everything. It's gonna take too long. I did want it to stream a lot, and also at the same time I was trying to catch up with everything. But when it came to Genshin, when it came to Final Fantasy, I was like letting it slip behind. Granted, nothing passed. I might actually, while I'm actually actively waiting for this, when I'm done with this dungeon, when I'm done with this raid, Lines Raid, I'm going to then put a little pause on the Pandæmonium and do this event that I've been literally putting to this, like, I've completed like so many times, but I haven't completed it for this man over here. It is the Rising event. I usually do events like this, like, off stream, but there was one event that it kind of made me like realize that, because was the I want to say it was the original other Rising event or some sort, one of them. But that one was one where we got the Kamen Rider suit. How did I wanted that, like, in the cutscene. I would have loved to see if I could just rewatch that cutscene over and over again, but no, you can't, sadly. Because I think they stopped doing that. Which is like, oh, okay, I guess. Anyway. Okay. So we have both the tanks filled up. I just need a healer. And now we wait the infinitely long time for cubes. To be frank, I really wish that we could have done that, But as we're waiting for the cube to pop, go here, go here. So there is a rising event that's right here, and I'm gonna go do it. Who's that mean? Oh. Rising to the call. One of the missile seeks an adventurer both willing and able to put finishing touches to this year's Rising celebration. I accept. Of all the coincidences you will hardly believe, but it was just this very moment reminiscing of the time you lent me your string a 12-month past. You see, I find myself in pressing need of adventure's aid, just as I did last Rising. Oh, if only Artie were here, I thought to myself, and here you are! Well then, what do you say? Shall we clasp arms once more? My thanks. The matter is, I have been approached by a lady named Oyo, who wishes to imprint her own immeasurable mark upon the skies above Linsolomintsa. I speak, of course, of fireworks that illuminates these rising nights. Learning of my contribution at the previous festivals, she has enlisted me to her cause. You've already had the organizing committee. However, Lady Ayoyo has expressed a strong desire to consult with the storied adventurer before finalizing a proposal. Come to Yellow Jacket's guardhouse at the base of the Coral Tower, and I will introduce you. Alright. So, I'm gonna do this as I wait for the queue, so that way we're not just standing around doing nothing. Oh, there it is. Ending. No, Themis, we end this here. I'll be put in chains. To think I would fall before one such as you, perhaps I should have treated you as more than a mere nuisance. Despite your victory, you shall never have knowledge you seek. The secrets of my transformation, the secrets of my desperation, they shall return to the star with me. You're wasting your breath, Hesperos. We have the upper hand now. Surely you can see that. Yes, my reservoir is not exhausted yet. However, although I have failed, my end shall be on my terms. I remain loyal to my very last. Come what may, I die with dignity. How did your ambition lead you so astray, Hesperos? You were better than that. Your stars shone more brightly than any other in Pandæmonium. You have Habria's respect, his trust. What more did you seek? that you would forsake all that, and surely your legacy besides. Became so blindly by his own desire that he lost sight of his duty. In the end, he lost everything, and his plans lie in tatters. I fail to see how dignity in that. Even so, I would like to know why he chose this path. Hesperus, in infatuation with your father, was on his undoing. Perhaps he was jealous that the fate had chosen you, not him, to be La Habrea's son. So terrible his jealousy became that he sought forgotten power, power that La Habrea would be unable to ignore. How does a pursuit for respect warp one's heart so? How does infatuation with one turn to contempt for everyone else? I have never heard of such a thing. It's uncommon, as you might think. It happens, but that doesn't mean it's right. I see. I mean, I cannot but find vexing, but perhaps that signifies not but my own capacity for bitterness. I do understand that it has to be broken fall in darkest times. A person you trust to guide you through, but it is despite wish their light would fall upon you again. But we have spent enough time assuming the intentions for the other departed. There are the living to consider. We must find the other wardens and round up the remaining congregations forthwith. Of that, at least, we can be certain. I believe I can be of help with that matter. The influence of Hesper's magic is spreading throughout the Asphodias. Now is the perfect opportunity to seize control of the facilities and restore things to their original state. This control. Can you really do that? What? What is this presence? Actually, what lies beyond that threshold? That is the passage which connects Asphodias to Abyssios. Why? Be on your guard, you two. Now that Asphodias is free of obstructions, I can more easily sense the disturbance in the lower levels. Something stirs in the Abyssios. Oh, warding sigil. How? Let's return to the gate for now. I shall like to appraise the situation more from there. Needless to say, our investigation is far from over. Although we have defeated Hesperios, it appears we have scratched the surface of Pandæmonium's troubles. My head is still swimming with questions, but this means that Hesperios wasn't actually behind this? It is a stark possibility, yes. The root of the crisis lies somewhat much deeper than even than Abyssios. When we first encountered you, you said the memories of your escape were vague and that your senses were muddled. I believe this was more than the result of a panicked mind. You were made to feel this way by a powerful magical influence. It's possible that the same magic could have poisoned Hesperos's heart, twisting his affection for La Habrea into a burning obsession. Then, in his altered state, he was made an offer of power he could not refuse. Wait, are you suggesting that someone else turned Hesperus into that thing? If so, it stands to reason that they wouldn't stop at him. Indeed, our mysterious mastermind does not lack for subjects for his experimental, more potential Milfire. If what you're saying is true, then my colleagues, they're doomed to share the same fate as Hesperos. Do not lose your heart, Ecricios. Hesperos challenged us alone, and that tells me that the process of his creation was long and a taxing one. If he was the first Hemithios, then the rest of the wardens are likely still alive. However, much as I like to hasten deeper into Pandæmonium, the way forward is sealed off. We must focus our efforts into finding a way through. With the creation still free reign of Abitios, that won't be easy. On the contrary, I yet reign control of these circles, and thus can wield intermediate magic within the halls at will. The creatures will pose no threat to us. Just like that. Then there's nothing else from returning order to Abithios. Just so. I shall require your expertise to keep the peace after the subjects have been returned to their confinements. However, you are Abithios' sole remaining warder, after all. Truth be told, I do not expect this measure to become so involved. Of course, I would like to resolve matters without resorting to outside help, but... Do you mean to report to La Habrea? It is too soon to say. Let us find a way into Abyssos. It would be best to withhold our judgment until we have ascertained the whereabouts of other wardens and the identity of the party responsible for their disappearance. Agreed. Even so, if it means saving even a single life within Pandæmonium, then I'm not above asking La Habrea for help, should it come to that. Recent discoveries certainly paint Hephaestus' actions into a new light. The number of unknown elements in this investigation grows, and we must proceed forward with the utmost caution. To that end, Irios and I shall return here for the time being. Much as I enjoy your company, I do not believe we shall be needing protection so long as we remain in Asperios. You should take this time to rest. Surely you are weary, and there may be more battles ahead. Thesios' burdens may grow heavier in your absence, but he shows that he's more than capable to bear it. Still, I would help however I'm able. All we've achieved so far, thanks to you, and I mean to repay the debt I owe. I do not know what use I can be outside of facilitating the creatures, but I'll find a way. Nonsense! You owe us nothing. It's thanks to you that our knowledge of the magics have governed this place, and that we are able to come this far. Elsewise, we would likely have to come to the Hippocampus assault. Each of us has arrived at this dire pass by separate paths, but it is only by combining our respective expertise that we will reach the end of it and see Pandæmonium saved. Thank you, Demis. Hesarius would have seemed to have affected me more than I realized. Together we come this far, and together we'll reach in the end. I have no doubt we will. Even so, let us allow art his rest. Besides, you have something awaiting a report of progress, yes? I dare say your story will be much more than they imagined. Alright. So I gotta go back here. Alright. Before I do that, I have a mission in Mardona. Okay. There you are, Artie. So it seemed we're early. My apologies for the rape. Remember us. What pleasure do we have to see you again? How have you been? Pleasure is all mine, my friend. I've been well, and glad to see you are too. I just realized. So it's funny because he was like holding himself back, like he was saying, "I want to stay here. I should help you, Carlisle," and it was like he was like holding his fists in. He was like everything. Like this man was clenching every single orifice. He was like, "I want to go on an adventure with RT." No. For requests. I recently encountered. Recently, an explorer came to me who claimed to have discovered the Phantom Reclaim. A Phantom Realm? So, is this what you mean by uncharted territory? You're not familiar, perhaps? Unsurprising, given the lesser-known legend. The legend holds that across the rivers there exists a realm that appears as a mirage. Though visible from a distance, it fades away as one draws near. And while it's featured in myth since ancient times, the realm's existence could not be proven and thus seldom mentioned in literature. In spite of this, fueled by rumor of the occasional sighting, the myth has persisted and continues to capture the hearts and minds of explorers. Then you yourself should reach out to us. It is real then. When first you explored and questioned approach, yes, we doubted him, but we couldn't doubt the evidence of our senses. Nay, the realm is real, as you will soon see for yourself. Good gods, part of me is still struggling to believe it, but we have no reason to doubt you. Suffice to say, we are eager to see the realm too. Truth it awaits. I pray you will succeed in finding it. Seeking out Explorer 1 Derek, he has more of the realm than us, and should be willing to serve as your guide. I asked him to accompany me here, but he preferred to continue exploring on his own. He will be somewhere near the banks of Silver Lake. Silver Lake, I expect. Understood. Our thanks, Rambros. Come, let us split and look for our explorer. Alright, so I will be right back as I have to do something quickly urgent. So I'll be right back. Don't worry, I'll continue streaming later.